Hi, and welcome to Farm. So today I want us to look at some fresh herbs, and to be specific, I want us to look at coriander. Here we refer to it as dhania. So actually, in today's video, all I want to see is to answer the ever-burning question: can you actually make money from growing of coriander? Coriander is quite a staple in so many cuisines around the world. So it adds a unique flavor punch in so many dishes, and with that, it has a widespread use. So with its widespread use, of course, there is a potential for profits for those who will be willing to cultivate it. So is coriander farming a profitable venture or not? Or is it a recipe for disaster? So let's just find out. First things first, is there a market for coriander? Absolutely. Coriander enjoys high demand all year round. So that means you have consistent sales opportunities for your crop due to the fact that it enjoys a huge demand all year round. Coriander actually requires very low investment in terms of seeds, maintenance, labor, and the like, compared to any other crop. The other crops like, let's say, tomatoes, cabbages, and the like. And so with that, it makes it quite an attractive venture, especially for beginner farmers. So if you are a beginner farmer, this is a crop that is easy to do. It requires very low investment, and doesn't need much. The seeds are affordable, requires very minimal labor, and there is not much required about for it as compared to the other crops like, let's say, like tomatoes as such. So this is quite a low. It's a this so this is quite a low investment, high return crop. So another advantage that you get with the coriander is that you can get multiple. It has multiple harvest cycles. So okay, there are different varieties of coriander. You have the multi-cut that you can harvest and it regrows. But even with the normal coriander, so it takes about 45 days. So in a growing season, let's say if you're doing something like cabbages, from nursery bed to harvest. There's the 1 month in the nursery bed and the 3 months to harvest. That's almost 4 months. And in the 4 months, if you're doing something like the coriander, you can harvest almost 3 times, because coriander also, from seed to harvest, takes about 45 days or so. So see, you can have multiple harvest cycles within a certain season. So this is more, so you have more profitable. So with the more harvest cycles, so you have more potential for more earnings as well. And so with that, you're assured of income all throughout the period. Yeah, as opposed to doing a crop, you have to wait maybe for almost 4 to 5 months to harvest. So this, within the first 45 days, you can start harvesting. Probably you can stagger the the crop so that you can have income all through. So what are some of the challenges that you need to consider when growing coriander? Of course, coriander is adaptable to so many climates, but it prefers, the cooler climates. So if you're in a, so if the, during the hot period, you can consider doing a shading, and because the crop requires, cooler temperatures, but it can actually grow all year long, especially where in areas such as this where we don't have, the extremities of winter and all that. Because here we are at the equator, we enjoy almost sun all through. We don't have those serious, extreme weather conditions, so that you can grow it all year through. And if it's too hot, during the hotter period, you can consider shading. But for coriander, it's quite adaptable to most of these weather conditions. So the other challenge you can face is price fluctuations. Of course, just like any other agricultural produce, it's subject to fluctuations. This is because on the supply and supply, demand and supply. There are times there's an influx of a particular product. But now with this, you need to do your market research properly before you grow any crop. Check your market, you know, your market research, find out to know what does well where, and maybe establish even good and reliable customers. So that when you have your crop, you know where to easily take it. But be assured that there will always be those price fluctuations. But if you're doing the crop all through, you'll be able to adapt to whatever the changes that will be you'll come by. The other issue is pest and disease. Of course, coriander, luckily the good thing about coriander is quite resistant to most of the pests and diseases. But it's always good, you have the knowledge, how to prevent any in case of any pest or disease that may arise. It's always good to have just have the basic knowledge of how to be able to control any issues that may arise as a result of pests and diseases. But in general, coriander is quite resistant to most of these uh, pests and diseases, so there's nothing much to worry about. But it's always good to keep that in mind, in check, so that when you're doing your crop, you know ways to prevent in case of any these issues arise. Now, let me share with you some tips that will help you, to succeed when farming coriander. Number one is choose the right seed variety. Yeah. So there are different coriander varieties that are suited for specific climatic conditions, and planting seasons. So do your research very well. Find out which particular variety works well with your region. So the other tip for success is soil preparation and seeding. Ensure that when you do proper soil drainage and the nutrient levels are key. So when you're preparing your soil to where you'll be planting your coriander, ensure that you've done your drainage very well, that the soil is well draining, and that all the nutrients levels are in check. These are key for good nutrient levels are key to a healthy coriander growth. So now you need to also find out the best seed spacing, and planting techniques, so that you can optimize on the yield. So the other tip is on watering and fertilization. So coriander requires consistent moisture all through, but does not tolerate soggy soil. So ensure you check on the watering technique that you're using. For the fertilization, it's always coriander does well. Can consider using organic fertilizers. But if that's not available, you can use even whatever is available, but preference is on organic fertilizers. So now to the big question: is coriander farming profitable? Yeah. So the answer, like in any other agricultural product, is it depends. So why am I saying the answer is it depends? Because coriander offers very high possibilities because of its high demand, low investment, and multiple harvest potential. Of course, but for you to be able to succeed, you require to carefully plan. Ensure you proper planning, know your local market, and be proactive. Practice proactive management, such that for any potential challenges that may come through, you'll be able to overcome. So definitely, as you said, just like any other agricultural crop, is whether, to answer the question whether coriander is profitable, is that it depends. The steps that you take might, are the ones that will dictate, but definitely it's a crop that has quite a huge potential. So that's more like it. Thanks for joining me today. I'd like to hear your thoughts about coriander farming. Have you tried it? Have you, what are your thoughts about this? So let me hear from you from the comments below. And if you have any other questions, let me know. So thank you for watching. Till the next one, happy farming.